Pop in, say hi. If you've never popped into one of my lives before, hi, I'm Cindy. I explore the inside and the outside. And here on Sunday night, we have a live show that we have probably been doing for, oh my goodness, I would actually have to go back and take a look. At least 6 or 7 years in any case. And we are a group of, I was referring to ourselves as the island of misfit toys, from that animated Christmas show, uh, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. And yeah, so I am uh, really pretty casual here on Sunday nights. We keep it light. It's not about me, even though I'm the one, right, doing the yapping and stuff. It is about this community that shows up for each other on Sunday nights. And I have the most amazing crew. And here is Owen and Sammy. Thank you so much for popping into my live tonight. If you've never met Owen before, he's one of my moderators. You'll notice I have quite a few moderators on this channel, and it's not out of necessity for that to keep things sorted, because we have amazing conversation and everybody who comes in here is always so kind. But it's because I'm part of that group myself, right. I am part of the chatters, even though my moderators I swear chat more than I do. I am part of that crew too. I have to include myself in that equation. And we are, again, an island of misfit toys, but we fit quite nicely together. And I hope that we carry on this relationship that we are all growing into, right? And lots of times people come into the lives and they hang with us for a couple of months and then move along on their way. But I am very well, I acknowledge that I have a special crew, right? And I have to accept, because, it's those lessons that reflect in my life that actually are the evidence that, that they're working, and that I recognize the lessons themselves, right? I have to recognize this amazing crew that shows up for me every Sunday. Okay, you guys, the conversation tonight. Lucky, look what I got here, you guys. Finally got my glasses. That was a challenge, It was not a fun process, but it was a needed process. Nobody was going to get it done except for me. It was a very expensive process for myself. For some people that might have been pocket change, but for myself, that was a bit of a struggle. Darn that mindset, right? But my abundance comes in so many miraculous, spectacular ways. And just the fact that I had the gumption to take care of myself, right? Like I said, make myself feel like I matter, right? Make sure that I equate myself, right? Into that equation, right? That I include myself in how I take care of myself, right? Being highly sensitive and, right, being empathic, quite often that attention goes towards others, and that's a great thing. I love my caregivers. Ask Owen. Owen himself is a caregiver, and the work and the service that he puts out there is incredible. Such kind souls, such understanding souls, right? To give so much of their own lives, where we can be building and creating for ourselves, that we actually take that time, stop, and put that attention onto other people, even in the smallest ways, right? Like I said, these glasses, they were not cheap. I actually struggled for quite a while. It was a lot of peanut butter toast and coffee, and let me have a sip of my coffee. Mm. And I know Robert is out there tonight. And I just want to acknowledge Robert doesn't always pop into the lives, but he's always here in the background or he's listening as he's doing some other project. But if you're out there, uh, I don't know if you guys saw my community post, but we're celebrating with our Christmas Eve party. Thank you, Owen. Yeah, thank you. Right, and they're nice ones too, right? They got also a little bit of bling, and yeah, they're good glasses. I'm grateful for them. Right, they're not really resistant because I did want that anti-reflective, didn't I? And you can see the how much they actually reflect. But maybe it was those ultra thin lenses that I got for them. Hello, Nancy. Hello, Nancy, dear. Look at Nancy. I got my glasses. Got my glasses. That was a 4-month process, a little bit longer in all actuality, because my glasses were already wonked out. But when I went on my trip, I finally, right, I took the handle right off of my last pair. I didn't have a choice. I had to invest in a new pair of glasses. And yeah, so it's done, right? One of the things on my list I have right here on with a magnet on my PC, I have a list of goals for myself this year. And I've already checked off two of them, right? One of them was what was it, Owen, or was that Nancy who mentioned last week about my wireless microphone, and they actually have a pair of microphones. So I have a couple of friends who said they would be happy to have a conversation filmed between the two of us. There's a couple of them, such wonderful, kind-hearted people, right? But struggling just like all of us are, right? And just sometimes those struggles are more visible. Sometimes we put that effort in to hide it, disguise it, put it under the rug. Sometimes those difficulties are very visible. And then our mindsets gets all twisted because we worry what's everybody thinking because they can see, right, that we're having problems and stuff. And so I just flat out straight out, right? If you're telling me you're perfectly fine, right? That you have no issues, life is hunky dory. Good for you. That's amazing. I've never met anybody like that. I'm very, very happy to meet you, right? But I think I would probably think otherwise or know otherwise, because I know everybody has a handicap. Just some handicaps are more visible than others, and some of them affect us physically, some of them affect us emotionally, sometimes they affect us mentally, sometimes, well, more often than not, they're saying a lot of that post-traumatic stress disorder and that complex trauma is in all actuality, what was I going to say there? Slipped my mind. You guys, it slipped my mind. I was going to say something to that. Bring it back to me. Bring it back to me, because it was a good bit piece of information. It slipped me. Hello, Nancy. How's your week been going, dear? Oh, but when we were going to say, yeah, we're going to check off the wireless microphone coming off the list of accomplishments to do. My glasses were on my list to do this year, right? That $1,000, it was a big chunk, right? It was a big chunk. Pocket change for some people, right? But I think for lots of us, that would be an exuberant amount. I know Nancy would appreciate that, right? $1,000. You could probably live for a couple of months with an extra $1,000 in your pocket and load up your cupboards with some groceries and stuff. But in any case, it's done. I don't have to worry about it. So the next thing we're going to work on, well, there's a couple of things all of these things I can work on at any given time, because at any given time, sometimes because of that distraction in our hypervigilance where we need to get up and be active a little bit, that instead of wasting time in that active moments that we need to take for ourselves, I try to apply that moment and get a little bit accomplished in some of those other goals and those other things that I need to get done. So it's not necessarily that I'm working on the same thing all the time, but I'm always getting stuff done, right? But we need to get the dental done next. What's going on, Nancy? What's going on? What are you struggling with right now? Did your new doll come, Nancy? Did your new doll come? Nancy's a doll collector, or not. So can't say doll collector, can you? She's a doll adopter. She adopts dolls. That's what she does. Yeah, Nancy. Yeah, let us know what's going on. You know we don't like to be left in the dark when our crew is struggling, right? With five more on the way. Are you kidding me, Nancy? And those things are worth a fortune too. Holy moly. But yeah, if you want to let us know. But yeah, when we're talking about goals, like even this morning I had to send my sister a little, pep talk because she's doing some difficult moves in her life too, right? That she's going to have to work through. And it's not like anything that the rest of us could help her with or anything except in supporting her and cheering her on. But I had to do exactly that. I felt for her because I know that I felt how I felt when I got these glasses off the plate of things that I needed to get done, and I just hacked away at it. But it was such a good feeling. So I just messaged my sister and just told her I got my new glasses, told her how it made me feel to accomplish it all on my own. I let her know that I understood that she was struggling too, right? She was struggling. She's in the middle of a divorce. Like that's not fun, right? That's not fun. And she's struggling too. And so I just wanted to let her know, like, if you need a project, work on those things. Just don't give up. Just don't let it, right, get you down. And when you do accomplish, when you do get ahead a little bit, then you can congratulate yourself, right? That you can feel good about checking something off the list, or right, moving along for something away from something that you know that you should be moving away from, right? So yeah, so I was happy at two things. My fiscal year starts in September, you guys, right? We're not too far in already, and already I accomplished the microphone, and I accomplished getting my glasses. Now we need to get the dental. I need to renew my passport, right? Because I want to do a trip this year, and I'd like to go. Well, I'm doing two trips. One, right, is my September vacation. So I'm going to be working on that intermittently in those moments when I said, oh, I can't take in one more lesson, right? That I don't get off scot free and sit in my chair and stare at a wall or piddle my day around, that I could just actually, right, get some stuff done. Oh, really? But I'm sure they understand, Nancy. Right? Right? You have limitations, and people are kind out there, Nancy. They're gonna understand, right? Maybe you can tape a little Christmas note to the window and say, "Thank you so much. I appreciate that you're being in the chair, that you're taking my garbage bags to the dumpster, right? For me, I appreciate that. Merry Christmas, right?" Oh, sorry to hear that, Nancy, but at least you're not ill and you got five new dolls coming and you're probably enjoying the two dolls that you just got. I picked you up some more outfits to put in your box. I can't find my Red Rose tea cards. I don't know where I put them. I'm looking for them still. I put them somewhere. I just don't remember where I put them. So I'm trying to find them so they can go in the box. I'm gonna pick you up some of those Canadian treats, Nancy, to send to your into your Christmas box. Right? That'll cheer you up. You don't have to go outside to get your your mail, do you? Right? Aw. I know here in this building too, the landlord is a tough bird. She's a super tough bird. She has super strict rules and she's always cranking at people, but you wouldn't believe the hassle that she gets. It's just like everybody has a problem and everybody's just like standing in line all day long to have a session with her. And everybody's upset. I hope a few of the tenants do a couple of nice kindnesses. And maybe that's a hint for me, just a reminder for me that it wouldn't hurt when I picked up your treats, Nancy, for your box, that maybe I could pick her up a little box of chocolates or something, just so she can feel that she is appreciated, because landlords don't last in this building, in all truth, right? They come and go like popcorn. And that's because the tenants are very kind of quite a little tough on the caretakers. The tenants think they run the show. Some tenants don't even pay their rent and the landlord isn't even able to do anything about it. I feel bad. But I understand, right? If somebody's just outright mean just because they're mean, well that's a different story. But I think our caretaker is actually quite a nice lady, except when it comes to her job. She probably has a pretty tough job. Oh, that's absolutely amazing, Nancy. Your Christmas is starting off on a good footing besides the garbage bin situation, right? I'm really yeah, I'm really good. At least it's not your health in the moment, right? It's not in your health in the moment. Wow, I wonder. Guess who's not here? I've never known Andrew to miss a live show. And look at it's already 20 minutes in. 20 minutes in. It makes me nervous. I'll send Andrew a message later on if he doesn't pop into our lives today. We know that Andrew has never missed a live show. Well, being I think in city housing or something, wouldn't they have to relocate you, Nancy, somewhere else if that were to happen? I think you would be high on the priority list, wouldn't you? Oh, things are so different in the States when they compared to what's going on here in Canada. We have pretty amazing, I think, support systems. Maybe too good of support systems. We're talking for the handicapped, talking for the low income, even for the homeless. There are considerations, and there's food banks, and there's the churches here. I don't know if they do this in the cities in like Seattle, Nancy, but here in Winnipeg, they open up the churches at night at 7 p.m. During the week, unless they have a service. and the homeless people are allowed to come in and sleep on the floor, but they have to be out of the church by 7:30 in the morning. 7:30 in the morning, but they're always sent on their way with a breakfast bagel. They make them a sausage bagel with eggs, right, or bacon and eggs on a bagel, right? They have difficult times getting into housing only because they have identification issues, and also, right, like I said, it was a hassle getting my glasses and stuff, right? It wasn't fun. It was a lot of details and stuff. And people who are homeless, they, right, we talk about having handicaps, how everybody has a handicap or a disability. I know for myself, sometimes it's really hard to ask for help. And also, right, you don't sometimes even know what questions to ask, and you don't know what kind of services are available, right? What services are available because, well, being homeless, you might not have a TV handy to stay up on the news and stuff. We had our great mayor. Our last mayor was absolutely amazing. Brian Bowman. He was a really, really good mayor. And just before COVID hit, he secured a lot of federal funding to establish shelters and housing for low incomes and for the homeless and people who were on the edge of possibly going homeless, right? But we have amazing medical systems too, right? I don't pay for any of my I pay for my eye care, but I don't pay, and my dental. But I don't pay for medical if I have to go to the hospital or a walk-in clinic, right? I don't have to pay for that. And when you're working, if especially if you're working for larger companies, there's usually insurances that go along a little bit for your eye care, a little bit for your dental, and then you get your life insurance with that, and your prescriptions taken care of, right? So we have good good I think we have good programs set in place to take care of the citizens. But in the end, if they take care of us, right, we're more than likely to support the government. We're more than likely to look at the leaders of this country as actual leaders, and so that when they truly do have to direct us in a way, or right, get us to take our vaccinations, or that we're more than likely to take that advice, because right, so far it works for us, right? And there's always going to be grumbles. There always, right? Even the Americans. I have my friend Cindy, and she likes to do those political commentaries on her Instagram, and they're like, you don't want to laugh, but you can't help it because they're so funny sometimes because they're true, right? And uh and but I laugh at it, but I don't take sides in the ideas, right? Not unless it affects the understanding, where, right, I delve into emotions a little bit, and right, if I see narcissists or if I see the scapegoats, right, I can stick up for the little man. But I think, right, most of us being caregivers, we do stick up for the little man, even if we don't do it physically, because lots of times, right, we are conscious, and we are hyper vigilant in our own safety, that sometimes, right, it takes a little bit of courage, it takes a little bit of bravery to say, hey, don't do that or else, right? And then they come up to you, what did you say to me, right? And you have to be tougher. Prime example is me at work today, you guys. Oh my goodness, we have so many shoplifters in our store, right? We have so many shoplifters in our store, and we try to, right, the basic needs, right? And even though we got the word that we're not supposed to, because, right, we're trying to build that relationship of trust again, that we can feel safe when they come into the store and feel supported and that they're going to behave. But it hasn't been the case, right? So this one lady who comes in specifically to steal, she just doesn't want to leave, and she just steals. She just doesn't care, right? They're just like, touch me, right? And right, I point out the cameras, but every time she comes in, I have to fake that I'm on the phone. And I don't like to lie, right? I don't like to lie. So I usually will pretend I'm having a conversation with the police station, and it gets her motivated to leave the store, right? And I says, we got you on camera stealing so many times. I don't want to say, well, so and so saw you steal, I saw you steal, so and so saw, right? And then right, have these people leave work and then have them right bump into her, and she's decided that she needs to rack revenge, right? And teach people. These are right. So it's a little bit of a dance, and you do the best that you can, right? You do the best that you can in this situations. And she was right in my face, but I've had a couple of experiences with her, so I've got the feeling. I know she's a bluffer, right? Because I pretended phoning the police, and I pretended having conversations, and it's gotten her out of the store, right? I says, we got you on the camera stealing, right? Not necessarily the truth, but it's possible, right? And she's going, I want to see the footage. And all right, you're not going to see nothing, right? I want you out of this store right now, and I don't want you to ever come back into this store again, right? She goes, I'm not going anywhere. And I go, okay. And I picked up the phone and I went 911, and the phone went automatically through. I didn't realize I didn't have to hit the green button to make the phone go to the police. It just automatically, as soon as I hit 911, it went straight to the police. And as soon as I did that, I saw it was ringing. I hung up right away, and the woman just took off, right? But before she took off, she scooped her hand into our jewelry container and took a big handful of watches and ran out the door. And then the police phoned me back and said, "Oh, we got a 911 call." I says, "No, everything's okay right now. The the woman has left. We had a situation, but it's okay now, right?" And she said, "Just call us back if you have a problem." So I thought it was really great how fast they called us back right away, just to confirm that there wasn't a problem. And then I heard one of my employees, or one of the girls that I'm working with, saying, following her out the front door, and I'm saying, Lorraine, get back in here. Like, you're not allowed outside like that. You're gonna get hurt. Leave her alone. And I saw this bike there, and I went, oh my goodness, she's got a bike. She stole all my watches. I'm gonna go steal her bike, I said. And I ran out the door to go steal her bike, and the bike belonged to somebody else. And I just laughed. I thought, oh, I'm just gonna tug that bike right out of her hand, right? And to have her freak out on me about stealing her bike, and I'll just say, well, you stole my watches. Right? And I've done that before. I've done that before. Tried to take somebody's bike because they were stealing in the store. And I thought, well, you know what? That's fair game. You took something of mine, I'm taking something of yours, right? I'll put a nice little price tag on it, and we'll get our money back from the things that you stole. But yeah, but we're supporting them also in the grocery stores. Now I don't mind, because the price has like pretty much doubled on almost everything in the grocery stores. Just the prices are just crazy. The moment I can get some coffee on sale, I'm going to stockpile coffee. Because I know that coffee is going to be so high, because right, it has to be shipped from South America or Africa, right? That I got to make sure that I'm right. I don't lose out on my coffee. I have to have my coffee. Okay, Nancy sent me a picture. Where's my I have to get my phone, Nancy. I'm not quite sure where it. Oh, it's right here. Okay, just gonna grab my phone, Nancy. Oh, it's not in there. Oh, it's probably in my coat pocket. I feel like an old lady today. I feel my 62. We worked hard. We worked hard this week. We did an amazing job. What an amazing team. I wish, you know, it's important to say thank yous. It's important to let people know. I'm not saying that I need anybody to toot my horn, but you know what? I have people who work super hard, but they work super hard because of me. They like me, right? And they work hard because they want to make me look good. And it's amazing that I have these amazing people that love me so much, right? But, I wish for their sake that the manager, at the very least, or somebody with the company would just say, "Oh, this place looks beautiful," right? My old manager used to do it all the time, and it used to feed me, right? You gave me a compliment, let me work 10 times harder. Or you make my job miserable, you make me feel unappreciated, and I'm just gonna, paycheck, right? Makes a difference. It really, really does make a difference. Okay, let's see. Nancy sent a picture. I don't have much power on my phone. Um, what do we got here, Nancy? What are you showing me a picture of? Oh, her garbage bin. And you don't have handicap. Oh, yeah. How do you even get out of your chair? That's Nancy's garbage bin. She sent me a picture of her garbage bin. Um, Oh, and those are your garbage? Are those your garbage bags, Nancy, or are those other people who are handy? Nancy, other people are doing it too. Why are you feeling super bad? Why are you feeling super bad? You're not the only person who's putting. See all the garbage bags on the picture? I just have to hold it off to the side because of the. Oh no, that shows okay. Yeah, let's see what she's saying. Oh, you're right, Nancy. Right? Had you had a conversation with the landlord, or you just rather just suck it up? Right? Yeah, that's what our back of my building, that's what the back of my building looks like. But most of the people in my building, they have walkers and they have wheelchairs and they just carry it down in their laps or on the chairs of their walker or yeah, on the chairs of their walkers. But here in Canada, that is also another thing. The law states everything has to be wheelchair accessible. So are you saying, Nancy, that they're breaking the law, or that's the norm where you live, that they actually don't have to take the handicap who are in chairs into consideration that way? Everything, every restaurants, any grocery store, any retail store. Oh, they are in violation, eh? Yeah, then report it. Then report it, right? And if they try to kick you out of your house because you're a troublemaker, well, you got another lawsuit in your hands, right? Because you have the right to uphold your rights and your own well-being, right? Like I said, you got to make sure that you take yourself into the consideration that, right, that you have to include yourself in that equation, that we are just as capable, we're just as entitled as anybody else. Not totally entitled, we're not asking for queen treatment, right? But just some common courtesy, and nothing to well, what points out our limitations, because I'm sure every time you take the garbage down, it kind of makes you go, right, as you throw it outside the door. So I get that, Nancy, because it's not good for your mentality to have those negative feelings always popping into your heads, right? Just another frustration, right? To add on to the plate. You get over one frustration, moves into another. But isn't it amazing that you can look forward to those dolls coming, that you have things to look forward, you got things to look forward to, right? Even when things are not going good, we could always find something that at the very least can take the uncomfortableness away, not in a negative way, not in an addictive way, right? But in a way that makes it so whatever we're having to deal with in the moment, that it's a very least bearable, right? Ah, and can would a board attached to the threshold of the door, would that be good enough? Would you be able to work with that, Nancy, if they were to do that? Or yeah, you'll make the city come in and do it professionally. Yeah, because it's probably a government building, so the government would have to be accountable to that, right? To make sure that it's accessible. In any case, Nancy, you don't want to go outside in the winter, right? I know Seattle weather. We have a lot of snow and a really, really cold here in Winnipeg, Manitoba. And right now it's only -4. We have barely any snow on the ground at all, and it's supposed to go into the pluses this week, so that's pretty exciting. I might take some summer photos, right? Summer at Christmas or something like that. I'll title it. I know, Nancy, but you got to get that mad out of your system, right? Otherwise, it's going to be some other technicality that's going to, right, rear its ugly face, or, right, you're going to, well, I'm not going to say literally trip over, but maybe, right? When you're moving over it with the chair, and it might get kinked in the spokes or something. It's usually how it works. I told my sister last week. I said I don't want to go thrifting with you on Mondays anymore. When you're in a bad mood, the rule is you have to let me know, because when she's in a bad mood, bad things follow her. Little hiccups, little problems, they follow her. I notice, I pay attention to that, and even now that I know when she's cranky, that the aches and pains come, and right, the little irritants that bother her pop up, and she becomes mopey and forlorn. And those are the feelings that will trigger, right, especially in my family, will trigger us to go off our diets, right? My sisters, we're all dieters except for my sister Tracy, who was well over 200 pounds, just over a year ago, and she lost so much weight. She went into what was called ketosis. It's what people who go on keto diets to lose weight. And she went into that state, but she was in that state for over a year. I don't quite understand it, because she was eating food and stuff, but somehow her body just stayed in ketosis, and she ended up, oh, I think she went down to like 75 pounds or something like that. Really, really dangerously low for her, especially because when she lost all that weight, at being at 75 pounds, she was probably almost at 50 pounds, because that was all loose skin that we're adding on, right? Because she was a big girl, and I know what it's like after you lose a lot of weight. All that loose skin, it's weighty. It really, really is. And even when I went in to have a tummy tuck, I went in to have a tummy tuck, government paid for it, right? Here in Canada, or at least in Manitoba, my emotional well being is just as important as my physical well being. And because of the family history with my dad's congenital heart disease, my mom's side with the rheumatoid arthritis and the diabetes, that they thought it would be a bit of an investment to let me have those surgeries, a little bit of cosmetic surgery and a little bit of surgery to help me lose the weight initially. And it did the job. And in my gratitude, I try to stay off the system, right? And I only see the doctors when I need to. I went and got vaccinations for the flu and for the COVID, right? Recently. Um, um, I I I haven't been to a doctor in a long time. Oh, when I got thrown from the bus, I had to go to the hospital because remember my arm was all swollen up and everything, and they had to make sure that I was okay because I needed it legally. Legally, I needed that because I still plan on suing them, right? Because I pay my bus fare. I expect to get to work on time, and I expect to get to work safe. And I wiped out good when I got thrown out of my seat, and that right. It's not like I jumped and threw myself out of the seat. I was thrown out of the seat, and that's got to be somebody's responsibility to take care of, right? Yeah. And I'm not grumbling about it, but these are the challenges. These are the hiccups. These are the little failures and the little frustrations, right? That just seem to just pop up, right? You just can't get a break. You get over one thing, and then it's just something else. So sometimes the very minimum, right? Or the very most that we can do sometimes is just whistle through it. Like whistle through you while you work. Whistle while you work, or put on a brave face, or keep yourself busy, right? Be your own cheerleader. Recognize all the accomplishments and the things that you do right. And sometimes that's all you can do. But sometimes, quite often, that's enough, right? That is enough. Okay. Oh, William's here tonight. Hi, William. You would have loved the action figures. Let's see if you know this one or remember if you remember this one. Uh, this was from my sister's auction. She found this at a garage sale, and she got it for 75 cents. She got it for 75 cents, and I just got to find something. Oh my goodness. Maybe I can't find it. Here, maybe these. Nope. There we go. I'll find it now. There. And seller, other items. And you guys, in that process, I forgot even what I was looking. Oh, that action figure. That's what I wanted to show. I wanted to show William. Dude, come down here. And here we go. Because see if you know this one. Here it is. This is what my sister found, William. Can you see it? Do you recognize that character? Oh, Alice is here, the red tornado. So she got that one for 75 cents at Salvation Army, which is a thrift store. I'm not sure if you have Salvation Armies in the States, but here in Canada, we have Salvation Armies along with the Goodwills. She got that for 75 cents, and she sold it for 125 $125 my sister sold that for. Isn't that absolutely incredible? She's so good at what she does. And I can see here she's got a few other things that she's taking care of here. Oh my goodness, she's doing really good. I could see wow, she got a pair of pedals sold. That was a good one, Alice. Did you get your money back on those? She got like a great big giant box of bike pedals. I don't know how much she paid for them. She got a great big box full of bike pedals. And yeah, she just sold a pair for $40. And she's probably got 30 or 40 bike pedals. Oh, best offer 100, right? Like, oh my goodness. Yeah, she did. She did really good on that. Yeah, just in case you don't know, Alice is my sister. And everybody here, Alice wants me to film our Monday afternoons. So, are we going out tomorrow, Alice? Are we going out tomorrow? Let me know, because if we are, just to let you know, we'll be filming the adventure of our thrifting days. And yeah, they're looking forward to watching one of our excursions. You guys want to see something that I got from one of our excursions? You guys, I picked it up. I got it for $14.99 minus $1.50 or something, because it's Senior's Day. You get a little bit of a discount. Give me 1 second. I'll grab it and I'll show you guys. It's so magnificent. Like, I absolutely love it. It reminds me of those debutantes, from the 1940s and the 1950s. Let's see if I can get it out here. I got it safely put away. I'm not putting it up now, but when I get my apartment, you guys, it's going to be, I'm going to have to move my chair. It's so big. It's going to be over my bed. And she's a very, very famous artist. So now it's going to be some kind of art. You won't believe the size of it. Look at it, you guys. Is it just not the most beautiful picture? Can you see it okay? I know I got the glare. I got the glare from, let me just X that out. See if that helps. Does that help? No. Okay. Yeah, but isn't it beautiful? It's like 3.5 feet squared, maybe 3 by 4 feet. It's absolutely just massive. The lady's name, it's titled Gold and Silver by Cecil Golding. Yeah, absolutely love it. So it'll be a picture. It's got such, I just love it. Oh, okay, give me another second. I'm just gonna put it away very quickly and carefully. But it's not for this apartment. This is an investment. Yeah, I think truly an investment. I think it's actually probably worth a pretty penny. Oh, we're gonna go shopping tomorrow. Awesome. Okay, so you guys, we'll put maybe on my days off, or maybe next weekend I'll get the video edited, because I'm a bit of a procrastinator when it comes to getting the video edited. But I'll take all the footage tomorrow and of our outing, and then we'll get it edited, and so you can see what me and my sister do on Mondays, right? It's something. It's a reason to get together with one of my sisters. It's a reason to get along with one of my sisters, and we have lots of fun. We have lots of fun when we do it. Last week, I found most of the scores last week. Usually she's the good one. Like, we're both good at what we're good at, but she gets final say, because she's the one who's putting it up on her eBay channel. And you guys, if you ever wanted to give Alice a little bit of a hand and support her and her channel, right? It could even at some point be the opening for me to, right, move on. And this moment, it is a conflict of interest. So I'm just hanging out with my sister, right? And she's doing all the thrifting. But wouldn't that be amazing if somehow we could tie up her eBay channel, right? You guys can shop Canadian here, right? It's fun. You'll get to see. I'll show all the stores. You'll also see. I walked into a store last week. We went to a Salvation Army, or maybe it was the week before. Yeah, maybe it was last week. I walked in and I bumped into like six people that I knew. I couldn't believe it. Every time I turned around, it was Cindy, Cindy, what are you doing? Right? And I'm thinking to myself, oh my goodness, you guys are resellers. Because they come in all the time. They always say, oh, my granddaughter's going to love this. And I'm thinking, yeah, you're here every single day. Right? And I look at the array of items that you buy. You're not buying for your grandkids. You're a reseller, right? But resellers are big for our business, right? And we don't just cater to the regular customer because we understand that every second customer that walks into our door, and that's the truth. I would have to say every second. I'm pushing it if I say every third, but I maybe say every two and a half customers, very, very minimum, are resellers. And they're actually putting a roof over their head and their families' heads by items that they're picking up in our store and reselling them, right? And those relationships are important too because we do get some pricier items that will take a specific buyer. I got a couple of really amazing things today. Let me tell you a couple of those items. We had a member of one of the neighborhood churches came into the store today, and he had a great big manger, like a Christmas, um, with the animals and the wise men. And then it was custom made for their church, and it was made for them in Egypt. And the manger was a traditional manger, as if you were going to Egypt. This would what the manger would look like, and it was all platformed, and they always kept the families away from the animals, so you wouldn't have animals surrounding you. You'd have a platform, and right? You'd have your hay and everything, and the animals would be on the other side of the building. But this manger was so pretty, all hand carved. It was all hand carved, and it was missing lots of pieces, right? Joseph wasn't there, Mary wasn't there, baby Jesus wasn't there. The wise men were there, some sheep and some camels, and really, really well done. And I put $35 on it, right? Alice is already shopping. She's sending me pictures. She's sending me a picture. Let's just see what Alice is sending me. Oh, Alice bought a necklace. Alice bought a necklace yesterday. She just wanted to show me the picture of the necklace. But you didn't say how much it's worth, Alice. Yeah, very lovely. Very lovely. We get those kind of necklaces at work all the time. Now I know why they sell. You need to come and visit our store. We actually have jewelry sales this week. I think it's Friday. All the jewelry is going to be 50% off in the store today. The sale was we had a certain color tag, and all those tags, all the clothing, all the shoes was 75 cents. All the kids' clothing and all the kids' shoes were 25 cents in the blue tag. So I went and I collected a whole bunch of little sleepers and outfits to add on to Nancy's Christmas package, right? So that she has a few things extra for all those gazillion dolls that she has. Oh my goodness. That's an investment. Talk. Alice, did you notice? Did you see my glasses? I didn't even message you to see. Do you like them? Actually, Alice was the one who picked out these glasses for me. I liked the pink because I could pull the frame off, and I when I had my glasses on I could see they were nice frames. I liked the color, but I didn't know what they looked on like on me. They had to be a certain right? To cover my eyes, and I have to be able to be at my eyebrow line and stuff in order for these lenses to work. And right, got some pretty little diamonds and bling bling here, and the handles stretch out really good. And there's no those little nodules that make it so it sits on your nose. There's none of those. So they sit very, very comfortably on my face. Alice actually picked out Alice actually picked out my glasses. Yeah. Excuse me. I am tired. My week is over. 100%. My week is over. Let me come down in the comments here. Guess I got to change the battery on my mouse. Okay. A few chats back. Really? I haven't talked to you this week, Alice. Did you? Did we talk this week? I don't remember. Yeah, maybe we did. I don't know. Okay. Two of the dolls I bought in a sale on Paradise Galleries, and they were having a buy one and get one sale. Okay. Andrew, oh my goodness, I was going to message you. I said, Andrew has never, ever, in all the years that we have been doing this show, Andrew has never missed a live. He's never missed a live. He was in the hospital with a staph infection and almost died and didn't miss a show. And if he ever does that again, oh my goodness, I'm not going to be happy. Not going to be happy with him. Oh, good. I'm glad you got a nap in, Andrew. Happy you made it in here, but you would have heard from me anyway. I would have messaged you right after my live show because I would have been worried if you come in earlier in our conversation, you would have heard me saying, "Where's Andrew? We're 20 minutes in, and Andrew's not here yet. Andrew has never missed a live show." No chat on here tonight. Yeah, you just don't have it hit right, Alice. Of course there's chat. Oh, like lots of people coming into the conversation. Right. Well, lots of them are not here, but I tell you, right? These conversations are still rolling. Yeah. Yeah, glad you're here. Glad you're here, Andrew. Yeah, so me and Alice we're going to go thrifting because you guys said that you wanted us to film our adventure, our thrifting adventures on Monday. So tomorrow I will no forget what, Alice. Trying to Alice, hello. No forget it. No forget what? Are we going shopping tomorrow, Alice? I don't know what you're saying. No, forget it about. Oh, oh, okay. Okay, wonderful. Yeah, I like my glasses too. They're very attractive. I don't think they took a much of a reflective coating because look at woo. They're like flashlights, aren't they? Woo. But I'm happy. And that was a toughie for me. I ate peanut butter toast for a month. I'm not even joking. My sister has paid for coffees every time. Well, no, last week I paid for coffees only because she gave me back $20, right, for my glasses so that I was able to get us coffees. But yeah, she'll be buying coffee. She'll be buying coffee tomorrow. Yeah, well, it wasn't just a matter of waiting, it was a matter of saving up the money, right? Like I said, the glasses were not pocket change for me. They were a big hit, but a very necessary hit, and I had to take care of myself, right? I have to make sure that I have everything I need, right? Before I give it all away. I learn my lessons from my caregivers here, right? Because I know how much you guys give away in your own lives. But I hope you guys treat yourself good, that you make sure, right, that you're getting those naps and you get to read your books, that life is set up comfortably for yourself so that you have a little space and time to decompress and unwind, right? Because it's hard to keep moving. I can't imagine. I was actually thinking about this morning is, I have a lot of people in my life, my sister Tracy is a very bad sleeper. Some of the people I work with at my job don't sleep that they sleep hardly anything, and they wake up in the middle of the night and they stay up, and I'm thinking, oh my goodness, I could not function without a good night's sleep, right? Without a good night's sleep. Now, on occasion when you have to, because there are things that do pop up, right? If you wake up in the middle of the night and you have to go to the hospital, or you're traveling and stuff, there are times when you're not getting the kind of, even when I went camping, you guys, right? There were a couple of nights there. Well, there were a few nights there that I wasn't truly comfortable, only because it got dark so early and I was used to going to bed at 11 or 12 o'clock at night. So I just have to make sure that while I'm prepping for my holidays, that I've already got myself trained to go to sleep at 8:30 at night, so that when I do go on my trip, it'll be easier to sleep through the night rather than crashing really early and then waking up really, really early. I'm good. 6, 7 hours sleep for me on the most part is perfectly good with me. Last week there were a few days that I allowed myself to sleep actually till after 9 o'clock in the morning, and that is a rarity for me. I don't do that very often, but when I do, I understand that I must need it, right? If I'm turning that alarm off and going back to sleep for a couple hours, I must have needed it. But I'm grateful I am a good sleeper, because I can't imagine doing what I'm doing totally, totally exhausted. Ask my sister Alice. I'm like the Energizer bunny. She always says, Cindy, right? How do you get the energy? Where does that energy come? I don't know. It's just the way I'm built. It's just right. It's probably because I am such a good sleeper, that because I am kind of set to a kind of routine in my life, that I don't allow a lot of stressors to get me all dysregulated, right? That I have coping skills now, that I can bring myself down and not stress myself up, or right, stress myself out. And it's probably why I am well, I am grateful I'm a good sleeper. I have to say that, because I can't imagine being able to do what I do without having proper sleep, and be able to come to the table with the right energy, right? Right? To have that opportunity, because it's not like you're having a conversation in the comments, you are, but I can't just stare at the comments and pipe in every once in a while, right? I have to keep the conversation going. And this is an hour and a half every Sunday, and it just never seems that we have anything in lack when it comes to conversations. We can always pick up on a topic. And for those of you who are going to pop in later, I know Sharon's going to come in later. Hi, Sharon. I hope your week is going amazing, amazing, right? Robert, I know you're out there, right? And well, Melvin, oh, and Dave. There are lots of you guys that I know that pop in after the lives, and I appreciate that you take that time, even when, right, you're not here with us in the moment, joining in on that conversation. But when I leave the comments on, the chatters live. I take them off of the, oh, sorry, not the chatters. Yeah, the chatters live get to keep the comments in because that's my Sunday night live, and we're all about right community here. And because not everybody can show up consistently every Sunday, this way they can come in and right not miss a beat and join in on the conversation in the main comments. But at least, right, even if they're not joining in on the conversation, they could be like, "Oh, Andrew, big bug, big bug inspections. What are you talking about?" Right? And they can kind of feel like they're in that conversation. And so let's finish that conversation. Now, I've had my place get biannual bug inspections. I had to move things away from the walls, etc., and then get things put back. I'm one of those people who don't sleep well at night. I put a second blanket on my bed just this afternoon, and that may help me sleep better. Um, yeah, so when it comes to sleep, I don't know the advice that I can give, only what works for me. I have a fan constantly on at all times. That buzzing of the noise helps in my hypervigilance so that I'm not listening for creaks in the core in the floorboards or creaking doors or somebody trying to sneak up on me. And it's not like I don't want to hear it. I want you to sneak up on me, but it's 99.9% chance it's not going to happen, right? Unless you're careless and not locking your door at night and not taking proper precautions, right? And it happens, it does happen, but lost my train of thought there. Give it back to me, right? I do that sometimes. But yeah, oh, the fan. Thank you, Andrew. Yeah, the fan, the buzzing of the fan helps to quiet those other noises that will periodically happen in a quiet, right? In that quiet state where we're in between dreaming and hard sleep. And those are the moments like a creak or a door or like something falling off the shelf or the cat playing in the cat box. Like these are things that will wake you up. And so I always use a fan. Summer, winter, there's always I got a fan right over my head. I tell you, that fan is not more than a foot and a half away from my face, and I'm not even joking. Sometimes it's on my back, but sometimes I need that air blowing in my face, and I think that's probably also what it is. The fan, the air blowing in my face gives me a feeling of being outside, gives me that feeling of connecting to mother nature, which is important to me. And so with that connection, maybe it puts me in that comfy state, right? I know when I was a little kid and when I was a teenager, we lived in Vancouver, and Nancy will be able to get what I'm talking about. But one of the loveliest, coziest, right, best sleepies you could ever have was when it was raining and you could lay in bed and you can hear the rain pounding on the roof or on the windows. And right, I've always been a good sleeper. Now, I've not always been a consistent sleeper because it was only through starting my YouTube channel when I started urban exploring, and that took a lot of time. I was hacking away at that when I was doing that, it made it so that it was a lot of stress in that. And because I was, even though a good sleeper, my sleeping hours were not good, right? I would sleep till noon or 1 o'clock in the afternoon and go to bed at 4 o'clock in the morning after posting or editing or whatever I was doing, right? And I did have to take some lessons, some great mentorship, some great entrepreneurs, and so grateful that I I stumbled onto that content in the need of keeping my brand going because my brand was crashing hard, right? I was ready to give up. But I wasn't ready to give up. That's why I looked for another solution. I adapted and conquered and found another way, and I found the mindset, and through those lessons I didn't give up on my brand, and here I am showing up live almost every single day. And it's absolutely incredible that, that's part of the evidence for myself, right? But yeah, I had to, in those lessons, to be more consistent. And so what I did, and this helped me out so much, right? Because I was hitting the road. I was back road. I was exploring abandoned farms, abandoned houses, right? That I was out on the back roads, and I'm waking up at 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock in the afternoon. By the time I get ready and get on the road and stop and get my coffee and get out of town, let alone even get to my destination. Most of the time, it wasn't a destination, it was just driving up and down back roads until I found what I wanted to find, right? But that wasn't good for me. And it was in that right, that I found when I was doing that while I was working my brand and trying to find work or working, that it became really, really hard. And so when I say I'm glad I don't have a second job that puts a roof over my head, I have two jobs. I have my brand, and I have the little job at the thrift store that puts the roof over my head, that allows me the time to practice my craft, right? To get good at what I'm pursuing in my life. And that only came from those lessons. And when I put myself on a I started uh, 11 or 12 o'clock, go to bed. So it's still later, right? 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock, um, go to bed. But my alarm would go off at 7 o'clock in the morning. And it only took me about a month to get myself switched over. After having those terrible, terrible, right, sleeping habits that I had my entire life for 50 years at least, and even when I was married, right, I worked bars and nightclubs, and I would get home at like 5 o'clock in the morning, and I would just stay up and do dishes and clean the house and make my husband's lunch for work, and right, and then send him off to work. And when he was all taken care of and he was off to work, then I would crawl into bed, right, wake up just before he got home. So I did this my whole life, even in my late teens and in my young adulthood. I partied all night, go to home at 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, and sleep till 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Right? Terrible, terrible sleeping habits. I wasn't tired. I had lots of energy, but I was getting lots of sleep. But I was missing out on those prime hours where I could actually be physically active or being more social because, right, I'm keeping more hours that are closer in line to what everybody else is doing. And when I went in and it started training myself to sleep 11 to 7, and it took a while. Like I said, it took about a month. And then ever since then, I wake up like 5 minutes before my alarm goes off. I'm like an alarm clock myself. Now, on occasion, I do wake up at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'll get up for 20 minutes and have something to drink and go to the washroom, right? Before I crawl back into bed, right? But that's not intrusion. That's different than not being a good sleeper, right? That's different than having insomnia, right? Going to work tired or having big black bags under your eyes. Okay, let's look at these. Let's look at these comments. How far back am I going? Ba, 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 ba. You had a dog. Now, what am I missing about a dog? Uh, Inspectors would come in with a dog who sniffed the bed and blankets and armchair from, oh really? They have dogs that do that? Huh. I didn't know they had dogs that do that. That's true, right? Oh, okay, the same idea, the ticking of the clock, right? Ah, I love the rainy days. We don't get a lot of rain here in Winnipeg. Sometimes we have, well, June is our rainiest season, but we didn't get any super big thunderstorms. I looked forward every time they said it was going to rain. I looked forward, especially if it was on my days off, and sit here all cozy in my pajamas, and, right? Wait for the rain. And it was gloomy, but it was never really rainy, right? Okay, here we're coming down. Sometimes I've had bad dreams that were so vivid, I would wake up and have to lie there for a little bit to figure out that what had just happened, thankfully, didn't happen. Isn't that something? Andrew, I don't remember the last time I've dreamt, right? Or even woken up to a little bit of a glimmer of what I might have dreamt. They say everybody dreams because they do science tests, and they can actually, when you go in for to be tested for sleep apathy, they watch your eyeballs, and they say one of the signals that you're dreaming is your eyeballs dart back and forth underneath your eyelids, right? So everybody dreams, but I don't remember my dreams. As a child, I remember being a dreamer. Even in my young adult, I remember being a dreamer. But you know what? I am a daydreamer, and I think daydreams are more spectacular than actual dreaming, because you can put intent with a daydream, can't you? Right? Like Andrew said, sometimes he would get nightmares. He wouldn't have control over what the dream would be about, right? But when you daydream, you can direct your mind to, right, what you're daydreaming about, because that's what daydreaming it is. But if you're worrying about the bad things going on, that's just pure stress, right? Yeah. And I tend not to ignore it, especially these days, because I know that if I can get it off my plate, it feels so much better. Like figuring out how to get the glasses taken care of, right? And it's done. It's done. It's taken care of now. Right? Now we're going to work on the teeth, possibly get another pair of glasses so that I don't have to be in that situation again. And I should have a spare pair, because you never know where this world goes to, right? If it goes to pot that you won't be able to get a pair of glasses, right? That would be terrible. I don't know what they did 100 years ago. Like with my eyesight, that would have to be a handicap for me. It would have to be a handicap for me, because I can't see. I would have to hold on to walls. I can see figures, but it's like looking through wax paper. You don't see any detail in any way. I would for sure not be able to read. So being born with this eye condition that I have, that requires me to have this prescription, I am grateful, because I can see perfectly fine, right? And that could have been a different story if I was born 100 years ago, right? 100%. What about cave people, Neanderthals, and right? Going way back. Oh, Homo naledi. You guys, I've been following some new discoveries on evolution, and they found a cave system, really, really tiny cave system, and they were able to get in there with some really teeny weeny, skinny archaeologists, some ladies who went back there, and they did some excavations, and they found Homo naledi, right? Which is a human, right? Just a different human, different species. And they did investigations on the bones and the evidence of the cave and everything. And they were kind of hoping that going back that far in our evolution, that because they found bones and they thought it might have been a burial, but they actually came up with their decision to say no. It could have been animals that took the bones back there. There could have been a lot of things, but there were a lot of things that weren't taken into consideration because there was smoke, charcoal, like burned from a campfire in the cave where the bones were. So that meant that they were back there in the very least. But yeah, I was kind of hoping that, right, because that would say how intelligent we were, even say 500,000 years ago, how intelligent we were. But they couldn't prove it. It's not to say it won't be proven, right? But we have to give that credit. We expect people to delve in and investigate these things for us. We have to give these investigators and these scientists the respect and well, just the respect of their analysis and their conclusions, right? Because we want that consideration for themselves so that, when something else happens, they're not going to say, oh, they gave us such a hard time when we said that no, that it wasn't burials by humans, that they weren't burying their dead, right? But because we gave them such a hard time, they'll just say, no, we're not going to tell you anything about it now, right? Because it's just too much of a hassle, right? So it's that mutual understanding and that mutual respect, right? Okay. Um, from what I've heard, we don't sleep as well as we get older. For me to feel really rested when I wake up is unusual. Really? Andrew, I'm trying to think if I ever have that feeling. I think probably the closest thing to that feeling is when I'm doing the long, long drives and I have to stop to sleep, but I only sleep for an hour, right? Like I said, on the occasion, I don't get enough sleep. Like when I came home, I remember stopping at a rest stop and just sleeping for an hour or two because I found I was kind of getting all dozy while I was driving, and I don't want to get into a car accident. So I stopped at a rest stop and I crawled into the back of the truck and I slept for an hour, right? And then I got back on the road, but it was just what I needed. Even then, after an hour, I woke up totally refreshed. I'm pretty fast at re-energizing. I think I do have to say that, right? Because it's been brought to my attention in so many different conversations. And like I said, maybe I'm not the best person to speak to when it comes to having bad sleeping habits because I am a very, very good sleeper. But also remember, you guys, I'm by myself, right? I don't have a partner. I have nobody I have to attend to. Nobody's phoning me and yelling at me. Nobody's giving me heck for things that once my job is done, that job that puts the roof over my head, I'm done. This is my life now, right? This is my creation. This is my gift to myself, and I put boundaries up to what I'm willing to do and what I'm not willing to do. But if it doesn't cross into my personal life as something fun or something new and exciting, right? A new adventure or something, then I may or may not. But it would be up to me in that moment, right? Okay. Okay. Yeah, I never nap. Mind you, this week there was a day that I did lay down, but I was getting some lessons in different forms of meditation and how, it's good just to check out, like just to shut everything down. And I thought if I just went and laid down in bed, not nap or anything, but lay down in bed and relax and let whatever flows to my mind flow to my mind. And it was lovely, right? I don't think I slept, but I did jump out of bed. Oh, excuse me. I did jump out of bed and get right back to it, I think. Yeah, I think I did. Maybe not with a lot of energy because I think I did take that nap. I even considered laying down and just staying in contemplation because I was exhausted. So I can't say fully that I don't understand that feeling, Andrew, of not being ready to get up and start my day. But like I said, it doesn't happen very often. And I have little tricks and little things that I do to make me comfortable so that I do get a good solid rest. And also I don't think about it, right? And again, what you think about is realized. So if you talk about and think about that you're a bad sleeper, what's going to happen? You're going to be a bad sleeper. So I don't give it any thought at all, and it just doesn't, I'm not going to say impact my life, because if I'm tired, I'm tired, I can't help myself, right? But it doesn't make it a pressing problem that I have to deal with, right? It doesn't cross my mind very much because I haven't made it a practice of it coming across my path or coming across my mind very often. And I'm good with that. I don't need to have my fingers in absolutely every aspect of myself. And I know that lots of times, especially I have that compulsive personality that, if something was said to me and I found it contradictory, or if I was kind of put off or surprised by it or didn't realize that, I could delve into it. I used to do that when I was writing my posts on Instagram, because you go over thing, you have to be your own editor, right? You go over it and over it and over it, and right, and after a while it's just a matter of learning how to let that flow happen and allow the words to be created the way they need to be created in just an honest way, even if you're just totally, totally bagged and exhausted. And in the end, it always worked out, right? If I was working on a post that was meant to be for today or tonight, it would get done. It might get done in the very last minute, but it would still get done. And again, that's all from the lessons as I go along. And it's not a matter of being super strict with myself, because I'm not super strict with myself at all. But where there are priorities, right? Like this live show is a priority in my life, believe it or not. Chatters Live is a very, very important. It's important in my movement. It's important how I feel about myself. It's important for other people who come in and hang out. And I'm grateful for that company, right? I'm grateful for that company. And I think at the same time, it's appreciated too. I feel that gap, and it's just in being myself, right? In whatever moment it is, right? And expressing that and just getting more courageous all the time, because I do know that Cindy's unique, that I have some funky ideas sometimes, and I am grateful that I have generous in their kindnesses, people who care about me, that allow me to be me. Just like we allow each other to be ourselves, right? Everybody. And that's the best thing. It's the kind of crew that I'm trying to build here. It takes all kinds to make the world. Unless you tick Nancy off and you put a great big garbage bin outside her back door and you make her go out there in her chair to take her garbage out herself, right? So yeah, that's odd. We've got garbage chutes too. I've never used the garbage chutes, but I'm in and out of the building every single day. I walk to I go for evening walks still. I haven't been walking in the past couple of weeks just because I seemed for a little bit off, and because right, the stress, the working on the glasses, editing videos and stuff, you can give all kinds of excuses, but I wasn't getting outside the way I should. So when I went to get my glasses, I walked to the mall to get my glasses, and that was 6 kilometers. So I walked 6 kilometers, and then I was at the mall anyway, and I was already halfway to work. So then I walked another 6 kilometers to work. And you know what? I got to work. I wasn't tired. My feet weren't sore, right? And I felt good because I connected with Mother Nature a little bit, right? In feeling that steering wheel with the guilt and shame, that I was feeling bad that I wasn't connecting with Mother Nature as much as I usually do, right? Okay, let's get to these last few comments before we call it a night. Everybody, thank you so much for popping into my live tonight. If you guys want to come and hang out with me during the day or the evening, we're adjusting it, right? Right? Just having this conversation about putting myself on sleeping schedules, right? That really helped me out lots. Maybe my live show needs to be on a schedule too. In the moment, I'm just kind of working it around. I'm still showing up fresh like a loaf of bread every single day, but I'm trying to work it around, right? Those work shifts and that job that puts the roof over my head, right? It won't always be that way. My goals this year, they're high, number one focus right now. And what I set my mind to, I always I always accomplish. I have no idea how I'm going to accomplish this. I have no idea, right? But I move towards it. I do those small things, right? That help to move me forward, and it gets too hard, too difficult, too stressful. Oh, can't take no more. Then I go, okay, that's enough of that. Let's watch some metal detecting videos, right? Let's get some projects done around the house, get the donations ready. Maybe I want to go for a walk. Maybe I want to get some of those big cleaning projects that I wanted to get done. Maybe some of those other topics that I enjoy, maybe spending some time with my family, that I have other things that are important in my life, that when the priority in the moment gets to be too, right, that I have something else that I can go into and blow some steam and dish out some energy and accomplish a little bit, right? That I can come back into what was frustrating me in the moment with fresh new eyes, right? With tons of fresh energy, that I'm able just to pick up where I left off and with ease move in a little bit further when I wasn't able to do it, right? Reason why I had to jump out of it right away to delve into something else, right? Yeah, I'm not somebody who likes to stay idle in something. If I'm just standing still in a line, right, I'm going to find something to do. And maybe that comes from my upbringing, right? When people used to say, Cindy, if you can't find anything to do, I'll find something for you, right? And people are gooders at finding those crappy projects. And you know what? I would much rather make my own movement, create my own projects, than be dictated by somebody who needs their projects and their movement taken care of. And they're just utilizing me like I'm a tool on their belt. Okay, you guys, that's got to be it for tonight. Everybody, have a good night. Like I said, if you want to catch me, what's my good cheer? Every day, Monday to Friday, we'll be picking a new word tomorrow, right? Hopefully, it's a nice light word. This word was we had this week was pretty. It was pretty. It was pretty light, and I appreciated having something a little bit lighter. And the word that we had this week was wonder. We looked at that word wonder in different perspectives. And yeah, still lessons there, but not so deep. Oh my goodness. Yeah, past few weeks, those words were big. That's not to say that tomorrow, that was just my little break getting that word wonder, and we're going to get something really kick butt and difficult tomorrow. But, right, baby steps. Just hack away at it from moment to moment and see how it plays out. You guys, that's it for tonight. We'll see each other next Sunday. Have a great night.